All right.
Yeah. Hi, James.
Duane Eubanks, how you doing?
You're feeling good.
Doing
James
good.
Hurt.
All
Yeah, what
right.
can I
I'm
say,
just getting
man?
myself situated. On this Friday the 17th, right? December
Yeah,
17th, and
that's right.
I'd like to thank you for showing up. I'd like to also thank Gail Boyd for curating this beautiful event. It's known as alternative venues for jazz, and I think it couldn't be a better time for any alternatives. You know what I mean? As many
For real, right?
alternatives as we can get, I'm into.
Exactly. I just
So,
lost. I had gigs this weekend. I lost all my gigs this weekend.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, there's that.
like, man, wasn't this thing 2 years ago? Jeez,
Something like that. And
we
yeah,
still
and
dealing with this?
kids are having to stay at home. Well, at least some of them next week anyway. The bus companies are calling, and the parents are in the dumps because yeah, we thought that we mediated pretty well as a state. New York did pretty good as a state, but as a nation,
Yeah,
you
right.
know, we're gonna see. But listen, Gail gave us a couple of topics to discuss,
Okay.
and I saw like things like, you know, what your first jazz record was, or what your first jazz record that you purchased was, and first time you listened to jazz, and all of that. That may take way more than 30 minutes. So if you would like, I'd like to for us to kind of chat about how spontaneous creativity came about after you let people know who you are and what you do.
Okay. Duane Eubanks. I'm
Hmm.
a professional jazz musician. Professional jazz musician. But I play trumpet, and I'm just here to spread some positives amongst the world to those that are listening.
That's beautiful. Well, my name is James Hurd, and I'm a pianist, composer, and educator, and producer. You know, we all wear many hats as
Right.
artists these days, and we
What's
got
up,
one
T?
more brother joining us, and I just so happy to be in the company of these extremely spiritual beings. And get yourself plugged in, brother, because you're up next to bat. I would like for you to introduce yourself, tell them what you do, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna chat it up about spontaneous. Just kind of chat up and let the people know what it is, and Dwayne's gonna tell us how it started and all of that. Can you hear you, Tarus? Can you hear me? Can I
I
get a
can't hear you.
nod? Where are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you
Uh-oh.
now,
Where
James.
is it?
Just a second.
There you go.
All right. Now y'all got me, right?
Got you. Hey, James, I can't see you, man.
I got you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Uh
You good, Tars?
All right, we're
boom, I'm
back.
back, right?
All
We are
right.
back.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, Taurus. So everything's cool, brother. Thank you for
Man,
coming
I'm
in.
good, man. Let me take these headphones off. I got the thing going on right here.
Okay, you can hear. All right.
Mhm.
So we have until about 5:30, and I can't really remember where I was when I heard jazz, but I know one thing: I was with my family. You know, it was
Mm.
my mom. My mom had a big stake in arts and culture in Memphis, Tennessee, in the greater Memphis area, in the tri-state area. And she was a part of Jazz Society as early as I can remember. But more than that, she was part of the Blues Society, the people that nominate blues guys in the Blues Awards for Grammys and NARAS boards and all those things. So people might think I'm just a kid that plays chords and piano up here, but I've been involved in these arts for a long, long time. So it's great to be hosted on such a forum. And so the first time I heard jazz, I was very, very small, and it morphed into several other things, and here we are together today. So you guys, if you want to share that, you can share any topic you can about your earliest instance of jazz, and then we can talk about some spontaneous.
All right.
Yeah.
I was I don't remember how old I was, but I was introduced to jazz music by my brothers, Robin and Kevin,
Mm.
and they had an extensive jazz collection. A lot of those Blue Note records they had, and Wayne Shorter was one of their favorites. So I got to check out those Wayne Shorter records, and you know, my brother Robin used to quiz myself. I have a twin brother in Philly, and who also plays. So he used to quiz us. Sit us down. You got to know who Miles Davis is. You got to know who Wayne is.
Blindfold test, yeah, man. I had a lot of those before I came here. Man,
the cats, and if you want to be in the music, you got to listen to the real stuff, and this is the real deal. So.
That's right.
You gotta listen to J.D. Johnson, and so that's what we did extensively. So that was my introduction to it.
All right, Brother Mateen, what about you?
Man, so check it out, bro. My dad, he used to have a stack of albums in the closet, and this is a closet that was like, stay out of that closet.
This is my stuff, boy.
Much,
don't let me catch you in there.
Right. So there were times when we would go in there, man, and I always remember seeing like a Yusuf Lateef album, Idris Muhammad album, and then I remember him having friends over, and I remember him playing Wes Montgomery, right? And but when I look at some old pictures, there's some pictures with me standing with my grandmother and my aunties, with my great grandfather, and he has an acoustic guitar, right? Which was the first instrument that I actually chose that I wanted, was an acoustic guitar, and I was lost at a swap meet in California, raised in Bakersfield, California, and they found me standing there looking at this guitar and saying that's what I wanted, so they bought it, right? Fast forward, I'm about 15. And by this time, my parents had gotten divorced, and so we was in that closet by now.
That's right, deep in it.
Pulled out all those records, man, and he had a Sam Jones record where he had that small band, and he was playing piccolo bass. And man, I played that record to death, bro. And that was like one of the things that really kind of like, just kind of took me away.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I was in high school. I was playing upright at that time, lugging everyone home and back to school and shit. Had a bass teacher. The teacher was a bass player, and ironically, when I moved to another high school, in junior high was a bass player, and then high school had a bass player teachers.
Oh,
so
wow.
High schools. Man, I had these Hawks basses at my high school.
Woo, that's an expensive bass.
Yeah,
for those of you that don't know.
So that was the thing, man. And by that time, I was headlong into really trying to get it happening.
All right.
Playing jazz, at least. I was already,
that's right.
Playing other styles of music.
That's right.
But as far as getting into jazz, that was kind of like how it started. But my grandmother used to own a jazz club in Reno. I just found out from my cousin. They lived down the street from Callaway.
See there? That's right.
So that's kind of like some things.
A lot of history in these families. Most families down south, everybody played piano and organ in church. Like,
man, my grandfather
turns out,
play boogie woogie.
Both my uncles, all my aunts, they all could play boogie woogie. They play those 3-finger and then they break out the boogie woogie and stride piano. And I was a kid, I had no interest in that. I was a percussionist and a drummer in college, and I got a piano from Phineas Newborn coming to my house. My mom grew up listening to Phineas on dates with her husband, my dad. He'd take her on dates, try to impress her, Phineas. So he came to my house because she bought me an $80 antique piano, one of those high back pianos.
Yeah.
And he played All the Things You Are in the left hand. No, afternoon in Paris in the left hand and all the things you are in the right hand. One of you geniuses can mix that up and just put that out on YouTube, and we'll see if it sounds
How
anything
much of a
close.
genius you are.
Yeah. Get back to me on that one. But yeah, it's beautiful to have you. It's so great to be in a space where we can share this kind of new thing that we discovered about ourselves
Yeah.
and each other collectively. And I think it's that we are actually pretty comfortable being able to trust the guidance system we're using for the music we're creating these days.
Yeah,
And if you're
that's
wondering
a good,
what that
that's a
means,
great way to put
yeah,
it.
you gotta try to frame this thing so that it's complete, and it's interesting because the name we go by is Spontaneous Creativity, and it's Brother Tarus Mateen, Brother Duane Eubanks, Brother Eric McPherson,
Where's E at?
and
He on the road?
he has a performance. He's in Hartford. Yeah,
Keep
he's
that
doing a
money,
stream.
man.
He's doing a
That's
stream.
good.
He's busy.
Good.
Yeah, but
Good.
we told him we would hold him down. And Eric McPherson, as you know, like is one of the most prolific expressionists on drums, and not just of a generation, of the legacy of this music, this creative music that we play. And so we have been doing these things that were inspired by gatherings that Duane Eubanks put together at the Jazz Gallery as far back as 2002.
Yeah, I think it was 2002. Yeah.
Yeah, he was tasked with doing a jazz. You were doing a jam session. You can tell the people,
doing
brother.
a jam session at a Jazz Gallery when it was on Hudson Street.
Yeah, man.
And so they approached me, and naturally you think, oh yeah, cool. Play a blues and F. It's just me.
Come on, play some tunes, kids. Yeah, you had some kids. You had a lot of kids from the new school.
And then I started thinking. I said,
"That's right,
man. Wait a minute. This is not only for I was selfish for a hot second. I got selfish. I said, man, it's a chance for me to better myself.
Interesting.
Challenge myself. Let's just play. Let me put a situation when we were just playing, and no tunes, just spontaneously creating music. Then I had to put a band together, and
you put together a trio, mind you. I mean, maybe you had a quartet.
I was thinking of you guys.
You kept calling me, and I remember one day I showed up and you guys were already playing. And the configuration, that was another time.
No, that was you were called. I think you were late.
Yeah,
and
I probably was late because somebody else was sitting down. Yeah, Jason was sitting down.
Jason Leonard was there.
And somebody else was at the drums. Who was at the drums?
Nasheed
Wade was actually at the drums.
Yeah.
So Eric, I walked in.
Yeah, whenever Eric couldn't make it, Eric was in Nasheed.
Yeah, because they're like, if you know how fires burn hot. You know what I mean? There's a blue flame is the highest, and the yellow. They're both blue. They both blue and yellow.
Right. Exactly.
They're the same. So you know what I mean? But very different. No two fires burn the same. You know what I mean? Exactly. So I'm just doing a little fire science.
So if he couldn't make it, he'd send Nasheed.
Right.
And I already knew Nasheed and Tarus's connection. So
oh man,
I didn't even know that Eric was the one who was supposed to be on that gig.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Right. See, so none of us knew any, and I'm walking in, and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" And I see Sheet, and I'm like, "Ooh!" And me and she go way back to Gail Boyd and Antonio Hart days, and like per diem, and meeting you downstairs in the lobby, and having the time of your life as a person of color abroad, and traveling the streets, and then going and touching people's hearts with this music. So we had that, and then me and Tarus go way back to doing some things in New York and starting some movements and creating this underground hip hop movement that was called the Real Live Show. We recorded, self-produced, got all the way up to the DKNY building and MTV2, and got all these placements, and that band dissolved. But we had a studio kind of synergy about us that we liked the process of playing songs. Tarus was involved in some things. that involved some people that he tapped other people, and I ran into a session. I was like, man, Tarus Mateen is running this session. That's the kind of guy that
that's right.
Tarus Mateen. You remember?
That was
You
Miss
can
Hill.
talk about that if you want. Okay, yeah. So Miss Hill, he was involved in the Miss Hill situation.
Yeah,
and so
that was a curious situation, man.
It was interesting, and we would always cross paths like that, me and brother Tarus. And so this night was one of those nights. I sit down, Jason gets up, and I was like, let us have a little, let's see. And Eubanks was like, come on, sit down and play. And he's like, okay, what you got? And we just gotta start playing. It wasn't like, we weren't like, let's play, it wasn't a thing of let's play tunes that I rehearsed this afternoon or whatever it was, or the repertoire that I know so that I could say that I'm a jazz musician. It was just kind of, let's create, let's build. And we proceeded to build for the course of 50 plus minutes, all of which is recorded and somehow was mysteriously kind of lost or thought to be lost. And
I don't know about that, man. I heard that
I got a hold of it.
Had that bootleg.
I know. I know. I know. And it's crunchy and crispy, and so I kind of digitally remastered it, and we're gonna put that out at some point. But it can't be understated that we have this fortunate incident that happened in 2002, and then we would play once a year when we could. 4 years back before now at the recently defunct Cornelia Street Cafe. Okay. Right. And so we took the liberty to go into the studio in 2019 because we were like, every time we play together it's too much fun. It's a whole lot of music and it's nothing you ever heard before. And it's very spiritualized. And, when I was younger, I used to play with Al Fielder. I'd go to Jackson and play with Albert Fielder. And he was like, I'm going to take you somewhere and you can learn how to, create some music, boy. So he took me down to Kid Jordan in New Orleans. And we played for 6 hours. We played creative music and we never repeated anything. Kid would play some of his tunes. And I just learned a lesson in trusting the master. And the master is creativity. Man, this was in the 90s before I moved here. Way before I got. So I was playing free. So when I got here, guys like J.D. Allen, Revis, all those guys, they were, everybody wanted to play the way they played. They wanted to play the Miles Smiles and, that kind of stuff. And Wayne Shorter. I was already out. I was from Memphis. You can't get any more out than the hostile racist South in Memphis and post-civil rights Memphis and economic Memphis. So it was controversial. Anyway, it helped inform me about how to trust, but it wouldn't be until my 5th decade that I realized that we need that now.
Yeah. Do you think that
we need that now?
Do you think that they knew that you were that kind of player and you didn't know it?
That's a beautiful. You look, man. I didn't know. I'm stupid. You know what I mean? I'm a stubborn, I'm not a quitter, first of all. For you that thought I was somewhere, gone, I'm here. We're here. We're doing recordings. And so I didn't know how much I trusted that. That's what got me on the piano at 17 when Phineas was. I was a percussionist. I was addicted to Billy Cobham, Tony Williams, Terry Bozzio, Neil Peart, everybody that was drummer. Everybody that had drums. I marched in marching band. I did all the orchestral conduction and marching band at the football games, kind of like that same story you hear about the drumline story. I mean, that was me. I was a drummer in college. So anyway, I'll write that book. Look out for that book. But right now, this is about spontaneous creativity time because I think that they were molding me for this moment. And I didn't realize, I got a lot of tunes. I got 20 tunes 20 years of tunes that I didn't put out because I think my career turned out like it did because I didn't get that fast track, where they put you up and they make you into this product and they commoditize you and they sell you and then people like you because they're selling you. So, but I've been here like you have, like you brothers have, and doing my thing and doing this self-production thing. Right. I'm sorry. So we have this product that we did in 2019 and COVID hit us hard. And we're going to have this CD is coming out and it's entitled 2020.
The Black Chamber, yeah.
The Black Chamber, Part 1, okay? Yeah. 2020, The Black Chamber, part one. Now, the Black Chamber means a lot. We don't have enough time to go into that, so stay tuned. We're going to do an upcoming segment where we talk about the mean, because it means different things. There's a chamber ensemble that exists in the music world, but there's also a chamber or a place you go of blackness. And some people believe that darkness is where learning takes place. And so I think those guys, to answer your question, were preparing me to learn how to trust what I wasn't ready to trust. I was ready to be a tunesmith and learn tunes, and I did learn a lot of tunes. All these guys that kind of tease you because you played at Smalls. I came here as a grown man. I came here with a master's in education and computer-based learning, and it was based on screens and no classroom because I was trying to eliminate racism, sexism, and all those isms down south. And I don't have any job placement in any university to that effect, but this model was designed as a prototype by myself and other people like me 30 years ago. So
that's crazy.
Thank us for that. That's what we do. We always create, you know.
Man, listen, I remember when I was in Atlanta, it was two cats, two drummers, since you talking about all these drummers that kind of opened me up, and one of them it was Samurai Celestial.
Man,
Outfielder Sunrise, yeah.
Show me all those videos. That you
really?
Met him.
Yeah, he was. I didn't realize. I did realize, but now I know.
Nobody talks about him enough.
Yeah, him and Steve Ellington.
Steve Ellington, yeah.
Ellington, man.
Sonny Murray. I mean, those names like those names you don't hear, and they definitely this is beautiful. So how much time did you spend around Samurai?
Maybe about probably from more than 10 years. Yeah, more than 10 years. Yeah.
That's an apprenticeship, brother.
Yeah, more than 10 years. Yeah.
I mean, Duane, you're such a legacy in your own right. I mean, you just kind of got you if you go in the bathroom, whoever's just came out of there after you taking a shower, bath, all that moisture's in the air. So you're like breathing all this musical legacy so long. like how do you even wake up and distinguish who Duane wants to be? Because Tarus asked me that question. I thought I was going to be who I wanted to be because that's what young is. It's arrogant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I surrendered to the spirit. But how did you come to this? You know what I mean?
When I first moved to town, you know, it was the Young Lions thing was going on.
That's right.
So I was young. I was, you know, I'm black. I was
That's
very,
right.
very handsome. So
not more than
so I got
that gets you in trouble every time.
So I think I got pigeonholed into that whole
come on, cute boy
Young Lion
syndrome.
I had to dress like this, I had to play like that. So I got stuck in that vibe, and like I think I should be playing sounding like I'm 60 years old.
Oh wow, you did that. Yeah, I didn't do that.
So that was my, you know, initially that's where when I moved to New York, and I got stuck in that. Not because I actually wanted to be, and I just felt like that's where I was thrown.
It was in the air when we got here. I was 27 though, like, you know, so I'm a stubborn, you know, I had my focus.
That's what it was.
So you did that.
I was there for, you know, but I didn't, it was what it was, you know.
Well, I'm glad you're on this side now, brother.
I knew, but I knew that wasn't, you know, where that's why when we started the session, it's exactly why I did it. I said, man, this is a perfect opportunity to just free myself, free us up, you know, because I wasn't just necessarily for myself.
That's right, brother.
You know, the guys on the scene.
So we were like seeking, we kind of found each other's frequency, right? Exactly. We kind of settled on the frequency that I got from Oliver Lake, Andrew Hill, Andrew White. You know what I mean? Like every person before us that was dealing with free spiritualized music, Sun Ra. There's Yusuf Lateef, who I met before he transitioned, and it was like I never thought that I would be so impassioned about this. It's a movement. It's a movement because you can't make a spiral bound book of repository of scales in the 60s unless you're self-determined, brother.
Exactly.
And I think we've settled on that. And Oliver Lake taught me that. And David Murray is another brother that taught me that. Right. And we're looking at 1 minute before we have to thank Gail Boyd for having us here. This is what alternative venues for jazz.
Exactly.
I'm not really the host per se, but I'm working on my position and my network that I'm going to buy and start myself. You know, look out for that one. We're going to need some funding on that one, though, brothers. So, because we are all self-producing now, we're broadcasting, we're all over the place putting our content out, and you can look for Spontaneous Creativity 2020, the Black Chamber Part 1. Available everywhere from December 21st. That's 4 days. It's going to be digital format. So I have those. Those right there that Duane's showing you don't have titles because I did that for a reason, so that you can listen to the music without being prejudiced by the titles. And Tarus has his. All right now, brother. Now I can't be left out, so I'm going to too. And there you go. So look out for that. Available on iTunes and everywhere. And we thank you. It's going to be released on Visual Music Records. That's our time. That's it. Thank you.
This joint is jamming though, for real. It's dope.
All right, so we have to go off, and Gail said, but don't hang up. So how do we go